Hi YouTube. If you enjoy my content and would like to support me, you can subscribe and like. Thank you and enjoy. On that eerie Halloween night, a group of brave children gathered in the darkness of the forest surrounding their town. They had carefully prepared their costumes all day long to liven up their homes. The group was dressed as terrifying characters such as witches, ghosts, and vampires, embracing the spirit of Halloween. As the children shared rumors about the town's legendary horror story, the Dark Forest, they encouraged each other, whispering words of courage. The Dark Forest had been standing on the outskirts of the town for centuries, and stories of mysterious and spine-chilling events within had circulated from one generation to the next. Jake, the bravest among the group, turned to his friends and said, "Why don't we go to the Dark Forest tonight?" For a moment, the others fell silent. Then they nodded eagerly. When they reached the entrance to the Dark Forest, they began to venture deeper into it. Slowly, they started to disappear into the shadows, passing through the dark branches that hung overhead. The interior of the forest was filled with the murmur of the wind, and as they walked, the dry rustling of leaves underfoot filled their ears. Suddenly, someone noticed a strange glimmering light in the distance. As they approached the source of the light, they stopped in awe. In the heart of the forest, there was a huge flickering fire, and black-cloaked figures were performing a bizarre ritual around it. The children watched in shock. The black-cloaked figures placed an ancient wish ring onto a magical stone and began to chant a song. Suddenly, the stone lit up, and dark entities appeared around them. Ghosts, vampires, and witches materialized as if they were real and closed in around the children. Jake and his friends were trembling with fear. However, for a brief moment, they summoned the courage to rush toward the site of the ritual. They snatched the wish ring from the stone and threw it into the fire. At that moment, the dark entities vanished, and the forest fell silent. The children, gasping for breath, made their way out of the forest. They hugged each other tightly and decided to hurry back to their homes. The adventure in the Dark Forest became a memory they would never forget that Halloween night. When they returned to their town, they didn't tell anyone about this terrifying experience, as no one would believe them. But Jake and his friends knew among themselves that on that night, truly frightening and mysterious things had occurred. On that fateful Halloween night, a group of fearless children gathered in the eerie darkness of Blackwood Forest, just on the outskirts of their quiet town. They had spent the entire day carefully crafting their costumes, transforming into witches, ghosts, and vampires, embracing the essence of Halloween. As the children exchanged tales of the town's legendary horror story, The Haunting of Blackwood Forest, they steeled themselves for what lay ahead. The forest had stood for centuries, shrouded in mystery and fear, with stories of sinister occurrences passed down from generation to generation. Jake, known for his boundless courage, turned to his friends and suggested, "Why don't we venture deeper into Blackwood Forest tonight?" For a moment, an apprehensive hush fell upon the group, but their curiosity and excitement soon overcame their reservations, and they eagerly nodded in agreement. Approaching the forest's entrance, they began their descent into its depths. Slowly, they became enveloped in darkness, winding their way through the gnarled branches that hung overhead. The forest seemed alive with whispers, as the wind rustled through the leaves underfoot. Suddenly, a strange, mesmerizing light beckoned from a distance. As they drew closer, they stopped in stunned silence. In the heart of the forest, a colossal, flickering fire blazed, casting an eerie glow. Around it, black-cloaked figures were engaged in an otherworldly ritual. The children watched in rapt fascination and growing dread. The figures placed an ancient, ornate wish ring onto a peculiar stone and began to chant an eerie, ancient incantation. Abruptly, the stone ignited, and a spectral, ghostly aura enveloped the surroundings. The forest came to life with the presence of ghastly apparitions, vampires, and witches, materializing before their eyes. Fear gripped the children as the menacing entities closed in around them. Heartbeats quickened, and their breaths grew shallow, but in the face of terror, they mustered their resolve. With sheer determination, they made a desperate dash towards the ritual's epicenter, snatching the wish ring from the stone and casting it into the roaring fire. In an instant, the shadowy figures dissipated into the night, leaving behind an eerie silence. The forest stood still once more. Gasping for breath, the children hurriedly retreated, their hearts pounding in their chests. Upon their return to town, They made a pact never to speak of the harrowing encounter, knowing that no one would believe their tale. Nevertheless, the bond forged that Halloween night and the secrets shared amongst those brave children remained etched in their memories forever. The haunting of Blackwood Forest became a legend, a tale whispered among the townsfolk for generations to come, a reminder that even on the spookiest of nights, the line between reality and the supernatural could blur in the darkest corners of the world. Emma, a resident of a small town, decided to rent an old and abandoned house by a distant lake for her summer vacation. This lake house had been left untouched for years and was considered cursed among the town's people. However, Emma believed that these stories were mere legends. Upon her arrival at the lake house, Emma was greeted by a sight of decay. The wooden floors were rotting and the walls were peeling. But Emma was determined to breathe life back into this old house and transform it into her personal holiday haven. She began the painstaking process of restoring the house to its former glory. However, strange and eerie occurrences began to happen at night. Emma would hear footsteps from the attic, and doors seemed to open and close on their own. Despite her fear, she tried to rationalize these occurrences. Perhaps it's just the effect of the wind, she would tell herself. But an underlying unease persisted. One night, unable to bear her sleeplessness any longer, Emma ventured up to the attic to uncover the mystery behind the strange happenings in the lake house. In the attic, she stumbled upon an old diary. The diary belonged to one of the house's previous owners, and its pages were filled with chilling tales. As she began reading, the diary revealed the peculiar behaviors, sleeplessness, and eventual escape of the previous house residents. On the last page, there was a warning. "Leave this house, for it is cursed." Emma shivered, but she still tried to find a rational explanation. However, that night, in her dreams, she encountered the ghosts of the former residents of the house. The ghosts shared with her the dark secrets and curse of the house, telling her that buried in the earth beneath the lake was an ancient secret that the house had made a pact with. Emma had to unravel this secret, or the unsettling events in the house would continue. Determined to uncover the truth, Emma embarked on a quest. She conducted extensive research and eventually discovered an old grave buried beneath the lake's surface. Inside the grave, she found a bone necklace and an old journal. The journal revealed that this bone necklace had the power to lift the curse. Emma took the bone necklace and returned to the house. That night, all the eerie occurrences ceased. Emma had broken the curse that had plagued the house for so long. Now, the lake house became peaceful and serene. However, Emma could never fully uncover the ancient secret buried beneath the lake. She believed that some secrets were best forgotten and buried. Emma realized that nothing was as it seemed, and before leaving the lake house for good, she took one last look around, this time with a more careful and mindful eye. In the quaint little town of Hollow Grove, nestled between the hills and shrouded in a perpetual autumn mist, Halloween was always a special occasion. The town's people took their decorations seriously, and the air buzzed with an eerie excitement as October 31st approached. But this particular Halloween held a dark secret, one that had been buried deep within the town's history. The Hollow Grove Manor, an imposing mansion that stood at the town's edge, had long been a subject of fascination and dread among the locals. The mansion was a relic of a bygone era, its ivy-covered walls and Gothic architecture lending it an air of foreboding. Many tales of hauntings and inexplicable occurrences had been associated with the manor for generations. A group of adventurous teenagers, led by the audacious Mary, decided that this Halloween would be the year they dared to investigate the mansion. Armed with flashlights, walkie-talkies, and a foolhardy bravado, they gathered at the entrance to the old estate. Their costumes, meant to ward off any malevolent spirits, included crosses, garlic necklaces, and talismans of protection. The night was chilly, and the moon shone brightly through the thin veil of mist, casting eerie shadows on the mansion's imposing facade. The teenagers entered the mansion cautiously, their footsteps echoing in the cavernous entry hall. The air was thick with the scent of age and decay, and the silence was oppressive. Their exploration led them through grand hallways adorned with portraits of long-forgotten ancestors, their eyes seeming to follow the intruders. The group ascended the ornate staircase to the upper floors, where the presence of the mansion's dark history became even more palpable. Rooms long abandoned were filled with ancient furniture draped in dusty sheets, as if awaiting the return of their long-departed owners. As they ventured deeper into the mansion, strange occurrences began to unfold. Lights flickered, doors slammed shut, and cold drafts seemed to whisper secrets from the past. Mary, the leader of the group, remained determined to uncover the truth behind the manor's legends. Their journey led them to a hidden door concealed behind a heavy tapestry. With trembling hands, they pushed it open and discovered a forgotten chamber, filled with arcane symbols and candles still burning after centuries. At the center of the room stood a tarnished, ornate mirror. Suddenly, the mirror came to life with ghostly figures, their faces contorted in anguish. They reached out as if trapped in another realm, their mournful wails filling the chamber. The teenagers were paralyzed with fear as the spirits beckoned them closer. Mary, however, felt an inexplicable connection to the mirror. She approached it, her reflection merging with that of a young girl from another era. The girl's eyes held a plea for help, and Mary could not turn away. In a moment of courage, Mary touched the mirror, and the room erupted with blinding light. When the light subsided, the mansion had returned to its eerie silence. The arcane symbols had faded, and the mirror now stood empty. The teenagers fled the mansion, their hearts racing and their minds reeling from the unearthly encounter. As they reached the town square, they noticed the mist that had enshrouded Hollow Grove had lifted, revealing a vibrant autumn landscape. The tale of their Halloween night adventure spread quickly through the town. Many remained skeptical, dismissing it as a Halloween prank, but others believed that Mary had unlocked the mansion's dark secrets and released the tormented spirits trapped within. The Hollow Grove. Manor became a place of intrigue and mystery, a testament to the thin veil between the living and the dead. Halloween in Hollow Grove would never be the same, as the townspeople continued to whisper about the haunted mansion and the brave souls who dared to uncover its chilling mysteries. In the sleepy town of Everwood, nestled deep within the heart of the countryside, Halloween held a significance like no other. Each year, as the leaves turned fiery shades of orange and the air grew crisp with the approach of autumn, a mysterious tale resurfaced, a tale that had haunted the town for generations. Everwood Manor, an ancient and imposing mansion on the outskirts of town, stood as a silent sentinel to the past. With its towering turrets, ivy-covered walls, and arched windows, the mansion exuded an aura of ancient secrets and long-forgotten stories. Tales of apparitions, eerie happenings, and unexplained phenomena had surrounded the manor like a shroud for centuries. A group of intrepid teenagers, led by the fearless Alex, made a pact that this Halloween would be the year they dared to unlock the mysteries of Everwood Manor. Armed with flashlights, maps, and a collective sense of curiosity that bordered on recklessness, they congregated at the gates of the foreboding estate, each wearing a talisman or charm meant to ward off malevolent spirits. The night was chill, and the moon cast a spectral glow through the thin veil of mist that hung in the air. As they crossed the threshold of the mansion's grand entrance, the heavy oak door creaked open, as if beckoning them into the abyss. Inside, the air was heavy with the scent of old wood and decay, and silence enveloped them like a shroud. The group ventured deeper into the mansion, their footsteps echoing in the cavernous halls. Portraits of long-forgotten ancestors adorned the walls, their eyes following the intruders with a disquieting intensity. Up winding staircases and through ornate corridors, they ventured further into the heart of the mansion. Strange occurrences began to unfold. Lights flickered and dimmed, doors slammed shut with unseen force, and chilling drafts whispered secrets from a bygone era. Yet, undeterred, the group pressed on. As they explored the upper floors, the presence of the mansion's dark history became increasingly palpable. Rooms, long abandoned to the ravages of time, were filled with antique furniture draped in dusty sheets, as if they were frozen in time, awaiting the return of their long-departed occupants. At the end of a long hallway, they discovered a hidden chamber concealed behind a faded tapestry. With bated breath, they entered the chamber and found themselves surrounded by an array of arcane symbols and candles still flickering after centuries. At the center of the room stood an ornate, tarnished mirror. Suddenly, the mirror sprung to life, its surface swirling with ghostly figures. Apparitions of the mansion's former residents appeared, their faces etched in anguish, their eyes pleading for release from their spectral prison. The teenagers were paralyzed with fear as the phantoms beckoned them closer. Alex, however, felt an inexplicable connection to the mirror. Drawn toward it, They approached and found their reflection merging with that of a young woman from a bygone era. The woman's eyes held a desperate plea, and Alex could not turn away. In a moment of unwavering resolve, Alex reached out and touched the mirror's surface. The room erupted in a blinding light. When the light finally subsided, the mansion had fallen into an eerie silence. The arcane symbols had vanished, and the mirror stood empty. The teenagers fled the mansion, their hearts pounding and their minds reeling from the unearthly encounter. As they reached the town square, they noticed the mist that had enshrouded Everwood had lifted, revealing a vibrant autumn landscape bathed in the light of a full moon. Word of their Halloween night adventure quickly spread throughout the town. While some dismissed it as an elaborate Halloween prank, others believed that Alex had unlocked the mansion's dark secrets and released the tormented spirits that had been trapped within. Everwood Manor became a place of intrigue and mystery, a testament to the thin veil that separated the living from the dead. Halloween in Everwood would never be the same, as the townspeople continued to whisper about the haunted mansion and the brave souls who dared to uncover its chilling mysteries. The story of the enigma of Everwood Manor would be told for generations to come, a tale of courage, curiosity, and the enduring power of the supernatural. Thank you very much for watching my video all the way through. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe. Goodbye.